35 Bible verses about desires. So I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. Galatians chapter 5 verse 16. Put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to your earthly nature: sexual immorality, impurity, lust, evil desires and greed, which is idolatry. Colossians chapter 3 verse 5. You desire but do not have, so you kill. You covet but you cannot get what you want, so you quarrel and fight. You do not have because you do not ask God. James chapter 4 verse 2. Can a man walk on hot coals without his feet being scorched? Proverbs chapter 6 verse 28. But since sexual immorality is occurring, each man should have sexual relations with his own wife, and each woman with her own husband. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 2. The world and its desires pass away, but whoever does the will of God lives forever. 1 John chapter 2 verse 17. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Matthew chapter 6 verse 21. I made a covenant with my eyes not to look lustfully at a young woman. Job chapter 31 verse 1. I have the right to do anything, you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but I will not be mastered by anything. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 12. Marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral. Hebrews chapter 13 verse 4. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy the devil prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 8. You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free. But do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh, rather, serve one another humbly in love. Galatians chapter 5 verse 13. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, comes not from the Father but from the world. 1 John chapter 2 verse 16. No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful, He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 13. As the deer pants for streams of water, so my soul pants for you, my God. Psalm chapter 42 verse 1. Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Matthew chapter 26 verse 41. When tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me. For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does He tempt anyone. James chapter 1 verse 13. Yes, Lord, walking in the way of your laws, we wait for you. Your name and renown are the desire of our hearts. Isaiah chapter 26 verse 8. Through these He has given us His very great and precious promises, so that through them you may participate in the divine nature, having escaped the corruption in the world caused by evil desires. 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 4. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. Some people, eager for money, have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10. All day long he craves for more, but the righteous give without sparing. Proverbs chapter 21 verse 26. Cast but a glance at riches, and they are gone, for they will surely sprout wings and fly off to the sky like an eagle. Proverbs chapter 23 verse 5. Brothers and sisters, if someone is caught in a sin, you who live by the Spirit should restore that person gently. But watch yourselves, or you also may be tempted. Galatians chapter 6 verse 1. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Matthew chapter 6 verse 13. What shall we say, then? Is the law sinful? Certainly not. Nevertheless, I would not have known what sin was had it not been for the law. For I would not have known what coveting really was if the law had not said, you shall not covet. Romans chapter 7 verse 7. You will have these tassels to look at, and so you will remember all the commands of the Lord, that you may obey them and not prostitute yourselves by chasing after the lusts of your own hearts and eyes. Numbers chapter 15 verse 39. And I saw that all toil and all achievement spring from one person's envy of another. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 4. If your right eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. Matthew chapter 5 verse 29. You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not give false testimony, honor your father and mother, and love your neighbor as yourself. Matthew chapter 19 verse 18b-19. Like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. Proverbs chapter 25 verse 28. As goods increase, so do those who consume them. And what benefit are they to the owners except to feast their eyes on them? Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 11. You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. Matthew chapter 5 verses 27-28. You belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, for there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies. John chapter 8 verse 44. Those who are in the realm of the flesh cannot please God. Romans chapter 8 verse 8. Rather, clothe yourselves with the Lord Jesus Christ, and do not think about how to gratify the desires of the flesh. Romans chapter 13 verse 14.
Thanks for watching. This is Life and Faith in Jesus Christ the Lord. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and press the notification bell for more videos. Thank you.